Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's a report that Ripple has expanded into 2 new corridors. On-demand liquidity utilizing, of course, XRP. Look at this beautiful headline from A&B Crypto. Ripple's ODL ventures into a new market. XRP/MXN indicates increased demand. I'm going to run through that. I've got a couple tweets from the XRP community I'm going to share with you in this video, and then I will wrap things up with a piece unrelated but fascinating nonetheless. It's from Daily Hodl, and this one's titled, Ethereum co-creator Charles Hoskinson addresses Google's quantum supremacy potential. I should have noted the comma there. Let me try that one again. Ethereum co-creator Charles Hoskinson addresses Google's quantum supremacy, comma, potential Cardano copycats and Bitcoin imitators. And I'm most interested in the portion having to do with Google's quantum supremacy. I found that topic to be very interesting. But before we get going here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you would please, ever so delicately, tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, well, gosh darn it, thanks for stopping by. Good to see your pretty face again. Let's get into the content now. Ripple might be secretly working on a new on-demand liquidity, ODL, platform in the land down under. XRP/MXN corridor had been picking up the pace and has been reported by various enthusiasts in the community. However, a market observer informed the community about 2 secret corridors up and running, which is AUD/MXN and AUD/PHP. At HMATEJX on Twitter said, I wish it was just a name I could enunciate, because that's not something you can say, right? We're going to say like HMATEJX. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Anyway, here's the tweet from HMATEJX. My latest investigations into ODL have revealed the following. The AUD to PHP and AUD to MXN corridors are active, already suggested by @Hallway Monitor 2. So hey, cool, giving credit where it's due. I like that. I can appreciate that. HMATEJX. Ripple seems to fund these accounts initially. Found an unknown corridor with on-demand liquidity right here. So you're talking about, so obviously, from the United States to Philippines and from the United States to Mexico, already very well versed with that. Those are the 2 initial corridors utilizing on-demand liquidity, formerly known as XRapid, utilizing XRP. Those are the first 2 that were officially announced by Ripple. So you got to say, it's not too surprising, assuming this is actually accurate, completely accurate, that a different corridor, these 2 new corridors, would also branch out from the Philippines and Mexican corridors, because we already know that there are on-demand liquidity exchanges enabled by Ripple. You've got Bitso in Mexico, and you've got Coins.ph in Philippines, so it makes sense to kind of branch out from there. And again, since Ripple hasn't announced this, it's perfectly fair to call all this speculation, but this is the type of speculation that I can get on board with, where even though, fine, Ripple hasn't stated, yes, this is the case, there's evidence to support that perhaps this is indeed true, and a pretty reasonable bit of evidence here. The only type of speculation I'm not really a big fan of is if wild claims are made with literally nothing to back it. Then I don't really get on board with that type of speculation, but there's presumably something to this here. Right? It's okay to connect dots where there are dots to be connected. Right? That's my opinion. According to the data available via the market observers, BTC market has been denoted as the partner exchange in Australia, and active corridors were noted between Bitso and Coins.ph. A sum of 66,126.82 XRP was transacted from Bitcoin market to Coins.ph, marking the AUD/PHP corridor, while a total of 71,901.5 XRP moved from the Australian exchange to Bitso in Mexico and was identified as the AUD/MXN gateway. However, an unknown corridor was established between Bitcoin markets and a wallet address, and the address is listed there. I'm not going to read that. Transacting a 389.83 XRP. So I wonder what that small transaction would be. Ripple has not officially announced any on-demand liquidity partnerships in Australia, and the existing collaborations in the country use Xcurrent, a product that does not use XRP. XRP/AUD has been an actively used pair on Bitcoin market with the trading volume of $37,676, while XRP/BTC noted a volume of $1,233. A&B Crypto has reached out to a Ripple representative for a comment regarding this as well here. And You know, it just, and you can say this to your blue in the face. I know, like, and some people just, it's not enough for them, but it's a cold hard fact that if you look at corridors where there is implementation of Xcurrent, now just widely known as RippleNet, which is fine. You know, you can look at where the tracks are being laid there, and someone like, yeah, but XRP's not being used. Okay, I get that, but you know, any utilization of corridors via via Xcurrent, again now known as RippleNet, it's all future potential XRapid, now known as on-demand liquidity customers. So I'm always happy about that. I've always been excited about these types of corridors, and you can see that things are indeed expanding here. It's not like Ripple's just stopping. There's just a lot of work to be done. While Bitso's XRP/MXN corridor comprised 99.92% of most activities on the exchange with a trading volume of 1,320,000, the remainder 0.08% was contributed by XRP/BTC with a trading volume of 1,057, according to the data provided by XRP Charts. And you can see they got a couple screen grabs here. And scrolling down, even though there was no confirmation from Ripple about any such corridor, the community speculated that one of the banks partnered with the company might be testing this corridor. And so here's a tweet from Darren XRP in response to the Hematigics tweet that I read to you just a minute ago. And Darren XRP writes, "We know the top 4 banks in Australia are Xcurrent users. I wonder if one of them is trialing on-demand liquidity now," which is a fascinating concept. But like that's why I was just saying a moment ago, any entity that's utilizing Xcurrent can indeed easily switch to using XRapid as long as there's a corridor built out there with sufficient liquidity. So that means you do need to have a partner exchange, a market maker, just to make those transactions possible. Because of course, on-demand liquidity doesn't work without that. You know. So very cool stuff, all getting built out here. Next, here's a tweet from XRP Crow. I like this, and I actually read this quote in a video that I covered, but XRP Crow turned this into an infographic, and I very much value the infographics that he puts together. They end up getting shared wildly all over Twitter in the XRP community, which is cool stuff. So XRP Crow writes, "Bye-bye pre-funded accounts, welcome on-demand liquidity." And here's a tweet from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. "Many have doubted the benefits of XRP. MoneyGram is experiencing real-time settlement, 60 seconds, in United States dollars to Mexican pesos. Pre-funded accounts will become a thing of the past." Ah, yes. Wise sage, Brad Garlinghouse. I agree. Makes all the sense in the world. All right, next here, this comes from XRP Australia. Take a look at that, which is perfectly fitting considering that we were just talking about the corridor being built out to Australia, land of kangaroos. "This is not a price prediction, but an occurrence prediction. The XRP price is being restrained until swell. Something huge will happen. Our YouTubers and influencers will be there to get the news out ASAP. The switch will be flicked, and then moon time, guys." Well, I appreciate diversity of thought. Let me share what I think makes sense and perhaps doesn't necessarily. It's like what I don't agree with, just from my perspective, like a critical thinking point of view here is. Well, you know, I'd have a question here. This is an interesting tweet, and that's the reason I pulled it up. It's not to slam XRP Australia. That's not what I do anyway. I think that you listening to me, if you listen to me for more than like 5 minutes, you know that's not the type of dude I am. But as it pertains to the price being restrained, I kind of wonder what is meant by that. Because sometimes, from time to time, I'm scrolling through my Twitter feed, and people talk about theories about XRP price being restrained. I'm thinking, by who specifically? Are you talking about specific whales? Because the data that I see pretty much just shows that Bitcoin price is manipulated, then XRP just tends to follow that, just like every other cryptocurrency does. So if there's something else restraining XRP specifically until swell for some reason, who is that, and what is the motive there? And I don't particularly see that. Now, I am indeed glad though there are XRP YouTubers out there. You got Brad Kimes out there. You've got a digital asset investor, and then within the XRP community, not an XRP YouTuber. Although he does have a channel, and he just no content yet. And I just subscribed to the other. There's Mr. B XRP, so sounds like he's going to be putting some stuff out though. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm glad that that's going on there, and they should be the first that are capable of getting news to us, so get it to us the fastest. But as far as a switch being flicked, I've never bought into that concept. I see a lot of people within the XRP community state that, and if you're one of them, I just happen to not think that makes sense. That's okay, nothing personal there. It's okay to have different opinions here, right? We're adults. The reason that I say that is because, look, if you're talking about price ramp up, you could say that in the flip of a switch, price goes up. If that's what you mean by it, okay, that's fine. That's pure speculation. But if you're talking about the development of RippleNet, rolling out new corridors, getting market makers in place, banking partners, remittance companies, all of that, no, you don't flip a switch and then that all just happens the world over and then you have moontime price. Like, that's really not how this... All this happens in good time. And as adoption continues to occur, then sure, there'll be additional confidence in price, especially as more speculators and institutional investors come into the space, and that makes all the sense in the world. But if you're talking about something triggering, being a catalyst for just a huge price movement upward, well, yeah, I'm not disputing that could happen, and maybe that's what's meant here, and that's why, again, like, I'm kind of parsing the words here, admittedly, but that's because I'm just trying to seek what the the meaning is. But that's possible, but again, that would be, from my perspective, almost entirely speculative in nature. So, but you can tell me what you think below. Like I said, I appreciate a diversity of thought. Last piece here: Ethereum co-creator Charles Hoskinson addresses Google's quantum supremacy. Charles Hoskinson, co-creator of Ethereum and creator of Cardano, a peer-to-peer blockchain that supports smart contracts and the cryptocurrency ADA, says Google's recent claim about a quantum breakthrough is a watershed moment like Sputnik, the first artificial Earth satellite ever, launched by the Soviet Union on October 4th, 1957. While crypto supporters continue to weigh revelations about Google's advancements in the field of quantum computing, wondering when and if the day will arrive when a supercomputer can crack Bitcoin's cryptographically secured blockchain technology, Hoskinson draws a line between the theoretical and the practical. In an Ask Me Anything session on Saturday, Hoskinson responded to a question about whether or not he believes that Google has reached quantum supremacy, and he replied, quote, and this is what I find fascinating. I like people's opinions on this, whatever they are. According to their definition, yes. Unfortunately, there's a huge delta between what they've done and what's required to actually use quantum computers to become problematic for cryptography. But it is a major milestone. It's an example of the endless and relentless progress that companies can make once they've set their mind to something and they have the people to execute. The reality is this computational model is here to stay. The physics are sound, and it's more of an engineering problem than a theoretical problem at this point. There's certainly a lot of science to do and a lot of math to do and a lot of careful programming to do, but today it feels more inevitable than it did 10 years ago about whether a quantum computer will ever exist and be useful and solve real problems. And kudos to Google's team out of Santa Barbara for the amazing work they did there. This is literally the rocket science of our time. It's probably the most difficult engineering mankind has ever embarked upon. And that's saying a lot if he believes that. The most difficult engineering. We went to the moon, damn it! Done out of Santa Barbara. By the way, have you guys, any of you listening, have you been to Santa Barbara? Moon Bay and I went there. There's a little place called the Boathouse, and we were walking along the beach and we saw Natalie Portman. Now you got a Moon Lambo story on top of the quantum computing story. That's right. We got pictures with Natalie Portman in the background. Moon Bay and I like beaches. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because if anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo!